In this video, we're going to review how to run interactive jobs on the cluster. There are two types of interactive jobs, graphical and non-graphical. What we mean by interactive jobs is essentially when you submit a job to the LSF scheduler, your program is processed on a completely separate node using its resources, and you don't interact with it at all. It's just kind of processed in the background, right? The interactive job allows you to input commands and interact with your job, and you can see output in real time. For example, like let's say you're running MATLAB and you need to see the input output in real time or something like that. Or maybe you just want to interact with a Python shell in real time and you don't want to send it to the background to be worked by the LSF scheduler. An interactive job would be the way to do it. So first I'm going to show you how to run a non-graphical interactive job, and then we'll go into a graphical example. So here I am logged in already to Pegasus 2. I'm going to go ahead and load a Python module, or maybe I already have it loaded. Okay, so I already have a Python module loaded. I'm going to follow the syntax here in the documentation, okay? So you're not creating a job script, but you're going to pass the these commands and the parameters into your terminal instead of a script. So let's type in bsub -is space -q. The Q we're using is called interactive. -p, you need to input your project. In my case, it's HPC. And here I'm gonna put bash. It's going to just open another bash terminal, like what's displayed here in login. If I wanted to, I could directly open the Python, but I'm just gonna type in bash just to show you what it looks like. So here, job is submitted to this project ID. That's my job ID to the interactive queue. As you can see here, it says waiting for dispatch on N021. This is the compute node, the interactive node that is going to launch my job. So now, instead of Pegasus here, I'm on N021. So right now I'm on this worker node and I'm interacting with it. I'm using its resources to run my job. So I can type in ML module list, or maybe module list. Yeah. So I guess the shorthand commands aren't set up on the compute nodes, but you'll just have to type it out, module list, and it'll, as you can see, Python is still loaded like it was on the login node. Let's go ahead and launch it. And you can see here I'm using Python now on this interactive node. I can, import whatever library, and you can do this with any other application that you're comfortable with. I believe you can do it with R. You can do it with an Anaconda module, things like that. But this is a non-graphical interactive job. The caveat is I'm interacting with my program instead of sending it to the background for LSF to work on. Once you're done, you can just type an exit and your job will quit. So let's go into graphical. So maybe you're running MATLAB or I don't know, RStudio, something that requires graphical display. So you need to exit out of the cluster first because you need to create, you need to connect to an X11 server. What is that? So it essentially allows you to open a graphical window, to use the graphical window of your local machine when you're launching the job. So you're still using the resources of the cluster on the interactive node, but you're using a graphical window on your local machine through the X11 server. So first thing you have to do is install an X11 server. I'm gonna type in here, I'm in the public docs, X11, enter. Let's see, connecting to advanced computing systems. Scroll all the way down here, and here you have a link to 2 different types of X11 servers, VCXserve for Windows and Xquartz for Mac. Now open these just in different tabs. This is what the page looks like. You just hit download and install for your specific machine. Again, a very straightforward download. Once you've installed it, let's see if I can find it here. Let's see, mine is a Mac, so I've installed Xquartz. Or are you maybe here, utilities? Yeah, Xquartz right here. And you'll just see it open at like your toolbar, and just gonna wait for that a little bit to load. One important thing that I recommend doing is once you've installed either Xquartz or VCSX on your machine, I would restart it. I would restart your machine and then relaunch the application. Just because I suppose there's sometimes it needs to configure itself. I'm not sure, but sometimes the X11 server, it won't connect to it sometimes when you launch it at first. So I would restart your machine. When you launch the application, you'll have a pop-up window that looks like this. You can just ignore that for now. What's important is that the application is open. That's what's important, okay? So now I'm going to go to my terminal, and now I'm going to SSH back into the cluster again, but this time I'm going to pass the X parameter to connect to my X11 server. So SSH -X, and then you log in as normal with your cane ID followed by the host name of the server. One important thing you can do to make sure that it has passed the variable and you're getting the display of your local host is you can type in the command echo followed by $, and then in all caps display. This is an environment variable, and I want to make sure that it knows to connect to my local host through this X11 server. So as you can see here, it's gonna use localhost, which is mine in this case, as the display. Okay, I'm going to navigate back to interactive jobs, and we're going to test this with MATLAB. So I'm going to module load. I'm going to use MATLAB R2024B. Module list. Okay, MATLAB is loaded. And now I am going to launch MATLAB with the display. So I'm going to type in bsub-is-q interactive-p, my project ID, -xf, also very important for X11 forwarding, and then the name of the application, MATLAB. Okay, I'm going to hit enter, and we're going to wait. See, SSH X11 forwarding job. We're starting on N021, and in a few moments, the graphics of MATLAB is going to open onto my X screen. It'll automatically pop up. It takes a little bit because it's rendering the graphics. And this will work with other graphical applications. So suppose if we had our studio, or there's another graphical application that you're using, you would want to launch it in this way with X11 forwarding. Okay, you see the graphics window just popped up. I'm gonna give it a second or two more to fully open. All right, and the MATLAB application is open now. So that's how you launch a graphical interactive job. If once you're done with whatever application you're working with, you can just exit out of it, just as normal. And Control C or Control X, I'm not sure if that's Windows. Control C will also kill the job for you as well.